everybody. It's Miss Melissa. I am so happy that I get to talk to you guys again this week. Well, today we're going to be talking a little bit more about Jacob's family. Um, First of all, this is the Sunday where we are starting back in-person worship at just one service, the 9 o'clock service. And maybe I'll see you there if any of you came to church. I don't think that very many people will be coming that are kids, and we're still going to have Sunday school online right now, at least for the beginning of the school year, okay? Well, let's pretend like we just came out of church after the children's sermon, and we go down the hall and we stop at our Jesus banner, right? And we talk about how God loves us and He wants us to love each other, and that we're all children of God and we're all special, right? Okay, well, let's count all the children of God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 with Jesus, 18 with me, 19 with you, and then all the people at your house. So you'll have to start with from 20 and count all the children of God, okay? All right, so then we would go upstairs to our classroom, and then we would turn on our candle. And I don't have one that just turns on, so I have to light mine. And this is something that you need to have an adult help with, okay? If you do this at home. If you have one that just turns on, you probably can do that yourself, I bet. Okay, so I have my candle lit. So I want to talk to you guys. Our lesson's going to be about dreaming and about gifts, okay? So actually, I want to show you guys a couple gifts that I've gotten. And we all get gifts different times. And actually, you can see some other ones that I have in the background. There's a picture that I got that is a religious picture. And there's some other things, some angel figures that I got when I had a little bit of a harder time from somebody. But these two I want to show you real quick. This one is one that I got. It was just, I think, 2 years ago. A year ago, my friend visited Egypt. She went to Israel and Egypt, and she had a really kind of cool time. And she knows how much I like cats, and she found this when they went to, actually, I think they went down to Nubia, which is another country over by there. And she found it carved when they were on their trip, and she knows how much I love cats and that I like things that people make. So she got it for me special because she knows how much I would like it. And that was really great, and I really loved it. And I thought that was really special to me. This is another thing that's also really special to me. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. But this is the creche, which is what the word that they use when it's, we talk about nativity scenes, right? But the nativity is actually bigger than just the creche. The creche is just Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus. And then the nativity has like usually some of the animals and the shepherds and the wise men and all the other things, which are all super special. But the heart of it, right, is Jesus and his parents on earth. So that's what the creche is. And this one is really special to me. My dad gave it to me. It's actually hand painted, and it was made in Holland. It's from Delft, which is a special region in Holland where they make porcelain and hand paint it. And it's a really special thing to me that they made there, and they did. So he got that for me because he knew that I would like it. And I would know how special it was. And I thought that those gifts were really special to me, and they really meant something to me. So I want you to think about what kind of gifts you've received and what is special for those. How did they make you feel? Who gave you the present? And what did it feel like when you got the gift? Well, in this week's story, we're going to learn about um, Joseph, who, not the Joseph from Mary and Joseph, a different Joseph, way before that. Um, this one was Jacob, or Israel, like we learned last week. Remember, he was struggling with God, and he received a new name, Israel, and he had 12 sons. So we're going to learn about one of those sons, Joseph, and the special gift that he got from his dad, Jacob, or Israel. Okay, so I'm going to read from our story, which is called A Special Gift, and it's in the curriculum. And this is based on the Bible story from Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible, chapter 37, verses 1 through 4, and 12 to 28. So it skips a little bit just so it has the story. Okay. Jacob had 12 sons. Yep, 12 sons. But the son who was most special to him was Joseph. Jacob liked Joseph so much because more than he was the first son with his favorite wife. Remember a couple weeks ago we learned about how Jacob was tricked and he ended up marrying two different people because he worked and to marry the one, and then the second one he didn't get to marry until after he worked longer again. So Joseph was the first son that he had with the wife that he fell in love with, Rachel. Okay. So Jacob gave Joseph a very special gift. He gave him a beautiful coat with long flowing sleeves, and it had lots of different colors on it. And the other sons didn't have a coat like that. They were jealous. A coat with sleeves was worn by men that didn't work in the fields. So that meant that he wasn't going to need to work in the fields. When they saw that Joseph had his special coat, they got mad. Why didn't Joseph have to work in the fields? Why didn't their dad give them special gifts? But it wasn't just a special coat. Joseph wasn't just a special coat. Joseph also told on them when they did something wrong. That can be annoying, right? If you have a brother or sister that tattles. And Joseph told his brothers that someday they would all bow down to him and obey his commandments. Well, one day his brothers were in the fields with the flocks, and Jacob and Joseph called Joseph to them. And this was after he had his special dreams that they were going to bow down to him later. Jacob called Joseph to him and said, "Go to your brothers and see if everything's going all right with them and the flocks." So Joseph, wearing his special coat, set off. He got to where they were, and a man saw him walking in the fields. "What are you looking for?" asked the man. "My brothers and their flock," said Joseph. The man said, "I heard them say that they were going to go over that way." The man told Joseph. And he went over where he said at Dothan, and that's where he found his brothers. The brothers saw Joseph coming. "What does he want?" they grumbled. "Him and his fancy coat. Let's kill him and throw him into one of the deep holes. We'll say a wild animal killed him." And that's how much they hated Joseph. But when Reuben, the oldest brother, heard what they were saying, he said, "We won't kill him. We'll put him in a deep hole, but we'll not kill him." So when Joseph came near, they took the special coat from him and they threw him into a deep hole with no water. And keep in mind, this is where it was kind of a desert area a little bit. It was really hot there. Well, not long after that, they saw a group of traders on their way to Egypt with things to sell the Egyptians. And Judah, one of the other brothers, said, "Let's not leave Joseph in the deep hole. He's our brother after all. We can sell him to these traders." So that's what the brothers did. They sold Joseph as a slave for 20 pieces of silver. And he was taken as a slave to Egypt. That's not the end of the story. We're going to hear more next week. Well, why do you think the brothers were so mad at Joseph? Why were they so upset? Would you have been upset, you think? I think I might have been upset, but I don't think I would have been that upset. Well, how do you think Joseph felt when he realized that his brothers sold him as a slave? What do you think would help Joseph remember that God was still with him and that God loved him no matter what? What do you sometimes feel like doing when somebody is bragging or showing off? When people are mean to you, what helps you remember that God loves you? A lot of things to think about, huh? Well, I want you to try to think about that this week and think about what makes you remember that God loves you. Well, we have a couple different options for crafts. And one of them, this one I think would be kind of neat. If you have any puzzles that maybe don't have all the pieces anymore, this option called Puzzle Plaque would be kind of really cool to hang up, and it creates something that says God sees everyone's side of the story. No matter how they fit together, God sees everything, right? I think that's kind of neat. But I did not have any puzzles pieces. But you know what? A lot of times we find that we end up missing pieces. So this might be kind of a fun project to do if you have one that doesn't have all the pieces anymore. Kind of repurpose those puzzle pieces. And this is another thing that I think would be kind of cool. This is Story Gallery, and to make a cutout of what the coat would have looked like and put different fabric on it, so we kind of can pretend that we're making Joseph's coat of many colors. And I didn't have a bunch of different fabric swatches. You could do it with construction paper, though. I think that would be kind of neat. And I didn't choose to do that one this week because there's one other one that I thought was really, really neat. Okay, I don't know if you've seen these hanging in my house, but I do have these hanging up. And you might have seen them different times, but I think the cover might block them a little bit. And what these are is dream catchers. And there's a couple different ones. This one is a little bit more intricate and more traditional. It's got a lot of beading on it. And see how it has that kind of spider web in the middle? And it's got feathers, and there's feathers down at the bottom. And this one is a little bit different. It's just yarn, and it's got this pattern woven together. And it's got long strings at the bottom and then some beads at the bottom. But there's no feathers on this one. Well, dream catchers are a Native American thing. And I have some friends who are Native American, and I've had other dream catchers in the past too. But the idea is that they catch, they'll help you have good dreams. That the bad dreams can't go through the holes in the dream catcher. Only good dreams can. So it catches all the bad dreams and stops them from coming to you. It's kind of a neat little concept, and it may not work, but it just reminds us to have good dreams and maybe that God is with us no matter what. So Joseph's dreams helped him to know that that God had special plans for him and would always be with him. And our dreams can show us the good things that God has in mind for us as well. So we're going to make a dream catcher today. And there's this page in your curriculum that has the information about it. And you can make it either more complicated or more simple, however you want to do it. There's some different things that you'll need. First, you'll need a paper plate. You can make a much smaller one. Like I showed you the dream catchers that I have. They're a lot smaller. There are bigger ones, but these are the paper plates that I had as they're the ones that we use for Bible school. So there's some leftover paper plates from that. And like we're just using what we have at home right now, right? So if you have big paper plates, they'll work. If you have small paper plates, they'll work. Whatever you have. And you can make it more complicated or less complicated. So then what you do with your paper plate is you have to cut out the middle. The easiest way to do that is kind of to fold it a little bit and to make a cut and then open it up again. And then you have a place that you can put your scissors through to cut that way. All right? And then you would just cut out the entire middle of it so that it looks like this. Okay? All right, so then what you do is you have to take your paper punch and you have to cut holes around it. Now you can leave a big space between or you can leave a small space, whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to do some random ones. And you would do that all around there, okay? So that would basically look like this when you're done. See, I've got all my holes there. And then you need yarn. A fair bit, actually. You want to cut out kind of a bigger strand. So I have some that I cut already. And then what you would do is you would put it through one of them, one of your holes, and then you want to tie it because you don't want it to get to go all the way through because we're going to pull it and wrap it. And if you don't tie it, then you will have it just go through and it won't work. You need to stop it. Okay, so I'm just going to tie the back there. And I'm just going to tie it on the back side of mine just because I kind of want to hide where I'm tying things. You can tie it wherever you want to. The one that I have here where they put things through here, they just kind of used a slip knot there. And they at the bottom where the beads are attached, you can see where they tied it. Okay. So I've got that tied there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and run it through to the opposite side. But first, I need to put some beads on there because there's beads on this, right? And that helps catch the bad dreams. So you can put as few as you want or as many as you want. I would put at least 2 on each one, but it's completely up to you. So I put my 2 beads there. See? And they're kind of moving around now, which is completely fine. Yours can move or not move, whatever you have, okay? So I'm going to thread that through there. Like this. And then I'm going to wrap this one around. Let's see. So that it comes from the back, I think. Here, like this. So see, I have that kind of pattern to cover up a little bit more there. And then I'm going to put some more beads on here. Get it through. There we go. Okay, 1. And like I said, I would do at least 2 on each of these. Okay. Like that. And then we're making a kind of crisscross spiderwebby kind of pattern. So then you have to take it and put it all the way across to one of the other areas. So I'm going to put it through right here. And then I'm going to bring this up and put that through there. Oh, I did that the opposite. The challenge of trying to remember how you're beating it, right? Of how you're putting it through. So, here, putting it through back that way. There we go, so that I have that. And then you would just keep doing it across from each other and with more beads as you go. And then, once you get all those done, then you can put extra holes at the bottom and tie, if you have beads, more beads at the bottom, or if you have any feathers, you could tie feathers to it. And I have another one that I made earlier so that I could show you guys. See, I did all the beads there, and it's all crisscrossed. And then I have my feathers at the bottom. So now I have my very own dream catcher. Well, I hope that you guys like it and enjoy it, okay? So why don't we pray together, okay? Thank you, God, for allowing us to be together. Please help us to remember that God is always with us and He's watching over us all the time. And He knows that we're all special and wants us to have good dreams. Let's say together our prayer that Jesus taught us, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Well, thank you for being with me, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.